going on, YouTubers? How are y'all doing today? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live for first of 3 reviews I have scheduled so far for today. Could expect a lot more to come. Just a little life update, let you know, due to the coronavirus, I have currently been sent home from my job temporarily until things settle down. So obviously, until then, I have a little more time on my hands, so you'll definitely be seeing me doing a lot of live reviews over the next, few days, as I am looking to get the pay-per-view reviews and, of course, all other reviews caught up with as well during my little time off that I'm having right now because of the coronavirus, which I continue to say, I continue to offer my thoughts and my prayers to those whose lives have been impacted by this, and pray that, we all get through this rough time, as we all deserve to do so. But until then, we're going to be here discussing stuff. So first, I want to talk about last night's episode of Dynamite. It took place at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Now here's the thing, though. I mentioned past couple of reviews I've done for like Raw and SmackDown. Those shows, it just feels like, to me, it feels like WWE was just going through the motions. And, just doing the shows to say, we did the shows. They're showing, replays of other things, like the Royal Rumble match, or, the Elimination Chamber match, and it's like, it just feels like it's filling up time. It feels like that it's not doing anything for me. And, of course, with WrestleMania now, we do the Performance Center being a 2-day show, it's like, I don't think that's going to feel that special, because I can't trust the company. This show, though, because yesterday, I was going to do these reviews last night, or yesterday, I just was not in the mood. All this coronavirus stuff is just getting to me, and, with me, being temporarily laid off, I was not in the mood. Like, I was not in any mood last night to do any reviews at all whatsoever. But when I turned on this show, and I watched it, like, lifted my spirits again. Like, it showed me I can trust AEW, that even during a tough time, they're not just going to, go through the motions and say, hey, I did a show, or, we don't know what to do, so we're just going to, say, hey, here's Raw, boom, 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 because AEW actually puts their time into writing long-term stories, and we had something called storyline development throughout this entire show. And what I also like is the fact that there was actually some, employees of AEW, like wherever it was, like, NJF, Shawn Spears, and, a few others, who were actually, like, in the live audience, getting, like, some noise, getting some energy. If WWE wants to do that with, like, people in catering or something like that, do that. Like, something. Like, these shows need some type of energy, and this show had an energy. Like, this, to me, so far, I gotta say it, has been one of my favorite episodes of Dynamite so far, I gotta say. Because it gave me that energy, it gave me excitement, I actually felt like I was watching a fun wrestling show again. I haven't had it since, this all started, and I think this one made me an even bigger fan of this product for sure, and have more trust that this company is actually trying to entertain the fans, and not just, bring in the money and such. I love this episode. I love this episode from top to bottom. We had some great matches. We had a great promo from Cody Rhodes to start the show. Great storyline, going in. It's like, because last week, yes, like, last week's episode of Dynamite was alright. I felt like they were kind of like, venturing away a little too much from, like, the current feuds that should still be continuing, like Cody Rhodes and MJF. I don't get why that one's not continuing, and, a few others. But this episode, like, got me more excited for the episode of Blood and Guts, because there was actually storytelling that got me hyped. Such as, like, Cody Rhodes, trying to bring the Elite together despite all their problems. And, revealing the 5th member. And the revealing of the Exalted One as well, we got as well in this episode. And just, stuff felt like it mattered. And I had the energy. And I loved it. And that's what I hadn't felt for quite a few days, with everything else going on in my life right now besides the coronavirus and my job, and again, I have a family member who's not doing too well right now that we're still, just taking it day by day with for. So, this is an episode I needed for a long time, and I cannot thank AEW enough for just lifting my spirits. So, we have a lot to talk about, of course, in this episode, and of course, in the other 2 streams so far I have scheduled for today, and maybe more. We'll see what's going on. Again, I have a lot of time on my hands right now since I have some time off because of, work being slow and such, but let's do this. Let's talk about this episode of Dynamite. I am ready, and I am hyped, and let's get rolling. So we open up the show with Cody Rhodes in the ring. The lights are out. The spotlight is just on him. He talks about how small recent events have made us all feel, and how important what they do is. And he's talking about 3 of the best athletes in the world to discard their petty differences and stand together. As humans, we need to stand together, but for many of us, that means standing at a distance. We have to be informed and held responsible by health and science, but we cannot live in fear. Amen. That's one of my biggest mottos. We cannot live in fear. He doesn't know about us, but he feels alive, and he hopes we feel alive. Which I didn't feel alive until watching this episode. He calls Matt Jackson out, saying nothing is owed to him, and his anger is misplaced. Cody needs his wisdom as an older brother to carry Nick Jackson's heart into this match, because last week I didn't realize that they actually were this they intend to do, but they wrote Nick Jackson out of the match, the 5-on-5 match between the Elite and the Inner Circle at Blood and Guts, which I didn't realize. That I thought maybe Dustin Rhodes was going to be the 5th member. That was not the case. As right now, as of this moment, the 4 members of the Elite at Blood and Guts against the Inner Circle was going to be Cody Rhodes. Now it's just Matt Jackson, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page. I thought Dustin Rhodes was supposed to be the 5th member also, but that's right, it's not going to be a case. Well, it would not have been him anyways, but I thought he was going to be in this match. But nope, we got something completely different, and it is wonderful, which we'll get to that later on, of course. But anyways, so speaking of Adam Page, he gets tired of putting him over, but he's a scary combination of light heavyweight skill and accurate combined with heavyweight stopping power. He thought he was going to be the first AEW World Champion, but not. He needs to get over that loss, and he needs to be the difference maker, the reason the Elite would win at Blood and Guts. And then there's his most unique friendship with Kenny Omega. They don't always like each other. They argue about who's best all day, and he respects that neither of them want to be bridesmaids, but this isn't a wedding. He needs Kenny, and he needs the real Kenny Omega, the best spout machine. Which, of course, probably referring to also the fact that Kenny Omega, like storyline-wise, has not quite really been the same ever since his match with Moxley at Full Gear, and that Lights Out match, that awesome Lights Out match. I will talk about when I do my Full Gear review, hopefully sometime soon. In short, he needs the Elite to be elite. Out comes Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega. Kenny says, normally you'd be speaking in front of a whole arena, but here they are, friends talking to friends. The whole world's falling apart, and who knows if there even will be a Dynamite next week. I hope there is. But he wants to go out the same way he came in, as the Elite. Matt then says, they say, well, but look, it's just the 3 of them. Nick is out indefinitely and wasn't even allowed on an airplane. Where's the Hangman? Here comes Adam Page, wearing a Dixie Chicks t-shirt and a denim jacket, nursing a whiskey as promised. Jackson says they're not going to fix this tonight, but he's asking him, man to man, will he stand with them? The Hangman offers something of a toast, basically saying, I'm in, and he leaves. Kenny then speaks directly to us, the fans, and says it's hard to feel our energy, but they know we're out there, and they can do is give us their best. The world goes on, and we need entertainment and positivity. So, god damn it! Hit the lights, hit the pyro, and start the show. And it did, and I was just like, awesome. We really haven't gotten this for, episode of Raw or SmackDown, because it's in the freaking Performance Center, and, oh my gosh, we can't launch power, we can't do this, we gotta go through the motions freaking much. No. These people were willing to still go all out, no pun intended, and just hype up this energy. Start off the show, addressing, the sadness and whatnot that, we're in a tough position right now, but the show must go on. And it feels like the show is going on because they're not limiting the show. I mean, yes, despite the fact that there's no fans, they're still trying to create that excitement some way. And we can tell in these non-scripted promos, this stuff from the heart, that they are trying, and it's giving us that freaking energy. And that's what we freaking need right now. The world needs that. We're sitting at home, not able to go to work. We're not able to, go out and be with friends and whatnot. But we can still bring that energy to the TV because the people that actually care and give a crap about freaking doing this to entertain the fans, like AEW. Love this opening promo, and I thought it was awesome. And it just set up for the show. So, we then have MJF being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. MJF's not willing to wrestle tonight. He says the winner's purse on the line, and that might be a lot of money for some people, but not him. He's going to let the undercard people get their TV time tonight. He passes some money to Shawn Spears and asks Tony if they're gambling, which leads MJF to flip out on him and scream in his face, denying any such notion, which they were two of the people who end up sitting, at ringside watching most of the rest of the show. Orange Cassidy joins on commentary for a match between Best Friends, Chuck Taylor, and Trent, taking on the Lucha Brothers, who's now part of this three-way stable with Pac called Death Triangle, Pentagon Jr., and Rey Fenix. Thought it was a very good match. Of course, they were emphasizing, that about the unranked team, the Lucha Bros, taking on the number 4 ranked team, Best Friends and whatnot. But obviously things got a little crazy during the match. My favorite part of the match was when Orange Cassidy did the trust fall senton off the stage to take out the Lucha Bros. The Lucha Bros double team flip pile driver counter that they eventually win the match with a stomp assisted package pile driver on Trent, which looked pretty good. So that was a fun match. And then afterwards we see MJF getting in Shawn Spears' face like a drinky bird, having apparently won a bet basically that they had. But after the match, Tony Schiavone interviews Best Friends. Chuck calls Death Triangle a bunch of chumps and challenges them to a no-ring street fight. Trent suggests that they actually fight in the parking lot. So basically they're challenging to an actual parking lot brawl next week. Which, awesome! Awesome! I'm up for it. Should be a lot of fun. This match was fun. The Lucha Bros are fun for sure. I definitely, think Best Friends, not as big a fan of them at the end for, Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks and a few others, but, I love it. I love this idea of doing like a parking lot brawl. Like, cool. Something different. Something to excite us. Something just different. Not just like walking to a performance center in the middle of the rain and just saying, yeah, I'm here, blah, 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 goodbye. Nope. This is not the case. This show has energy, and I love it. I love every single second of it, guys. Anyways, so then we had a match. It was a fatal 4-way. Hikaru Shida taking on Chris Statlander, taking on Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian at ringside, taking out Rio. Not a bad match. Rio was targeting Kip Sabian a lot during the match and trying to take him out. So that kind of was leading to some sort of storyline with Rio and Penelope Ford, I'm guessing, because that's the girlfriend of Kip Sabian. But it was still a good match, and eventually Hikaru Shida wins the match, and I believe that they hyped up. I think now she's the new number 1 ranked in the women's division, I believe. I think she's 6-2 in 2020, I think they were saying, on the ranking system. So I guess she's probably the next one in line to take on Nyla. I mean, I thought maybe they would be a Presley after last week, but obviously right now with the ranking system, looks like that Hikaru Shida is the one probably next in line to be taking on Nyla Rose. Maybe we'll have to wait and see, but still good stuff. I enjoyed it. We have Colt Cabana being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. He says this is pretty weird, but he's doing some scouting and calls himself the Bruce Springsteen of AEW before offering some critique on Penelope Ford relying on Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian rolls up to go back and forth with him, and Colt slaps him in the face and sends him running. So probably going to get a match between them in the next few weeks, I would say. We also have this parking lot interview with the champ himself, Jon Moxley, where he's apparently on, he's not medically cleared to compete, and he's on the Do Not Enter list. He's like, huh? What's medically cleared mean? I've never. They don't even need him to punch any cops. He's basically, he's always never been medically cleared in his entire life. They say he's always messed up. So he's going to take a drive and blow off some steam. But the Inner Circle needs to know he'll always be in their blind spot. And he's not going to miss blood and guts for the world. He gets to his Ford GT and just drives off. So, again, since the Inner Circle have matches for blood and guts, I'm not sure what, it's not Ambrose. Moxley's going to have in mind. I'm thinking that they may be doing a rematch with him and Jericho, probably. I think it's probably going to happen. But I still think, right after him and Jericho are done, him and MJF are gonna feud, I think, after that for the world title. But they gotta finish. They gotta, continue that feud though with MJF and Cody. I'm sorry, there's more there to the story. Like, giving MJF the win was the right thing to do, but dropping the storyline, I think, is not the right move. They have to somehow continue a storyline for Cody to eventually get his comeuppance on MJF. But it's at least, helping MJF become, a bigger heel. Although I do like the fact that I pinned Cody's shirt. I think it's pretty darn funny also. Anyway, so we had that interview with Mox, and then we had the Butcher and the Blade, Andy Williams and Pepper Parks, taking on Jurassic Express's Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus. Another fun match, I gotta say for sure. Of course, with Butcher and the Blade kind of being allies with MJF. MJF was super behind them throughout this match, and I thought it was a pretty good match. And then Jurassic Express win by pinfall with a tombstone lift into an ace crusher on Pepper Parks. Forget the win. One of my favorite parts of the show. One of my two favorite parts of this show, I would say. Well, there's kind of a third one also, but, I love this whole show. What am I saying? But this was definitely one of my favorite parts of the show. We have Evil Uno and Stu Grayson from the Dark Order make their entrance. Because recently, Christopher Daniels is saying that he doesn't believe that there's an Exalted One. He is saying that, it's all baloney, so he wants to meet, actually, see Stu Grayson and Evil Uno in the ring this week, and, fight them off and see if, the Exalted One actually does exist. Because as of right now, he does not believe it. So, Evil Uno asks for the production team to focus on his eyes. Talk about how the Exalted One is going to breathe new life into the Dark Order. He has promised the arrival of the Exalted One. And Evil Uno never lies or breaks his promises, because Evil Uno cares about you. Does he? Together we are one, and the Exalted One is near. The Exalted One is... Christopher Daniels rolls up, tells him to stop running his mouth. It's been 3 months straight, and Evil Uno has told lies every chance he gets, and he's sick of it. Talks about making lives better, but he hasn't made Alex Reynolds' life better. He hasn't made John Silver's life any better. All he's done is wasted our time, and we're sick of it. Kind of, probably, referring to the fact that, hey, a lot of people aren't a fan of the Dark Order. I mean, they've revamped it how many times, so, maybe this time it'll work, and I think it is going to work this time, because I have more faith in it because of who's now involved in it. Because, the biggest lie he's told is that there's an Exalted One. But he doesn't exist. And it's just the two of them. But then, boom. Things change. I got goosebumps and I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes. This is awesome. This is freaking awesome and I'm excited for it. So strange throbbing music fills the arena. And a distorted voice comes over the speakers, introducing himself as the Exalted One on the Titantron. The new role of the Dark Order goes like this. They do what they want when they want. And if they want something, they take it. You open the door and let the Dark Order in. And if you don't, he personally will kick the door down and let you in. You see some man in like a white robe appear, and through the darkness and the smoke. And we're just thinking, okay, this is going to be wonderful! Because for weeks, we kept thinking the Exalted One was going to be Matt Hardy. And I saw it coming. A lot of people could have seen it coming, honestly. AEW swerved us with an even bigger surprise, and I love it. I love it. The guy takes off his hood. The Exalted One is Now, Brody Lee, formerly known as Luke Harper in WWE. Awesome. Just awesome. Brody Lee, well, I gotta just call him now, not Luke Harper, but he says, and I love this promo. First off, it proved he could talk. And second off, he took a shot at Vince McMahon in this promo. I love the one specific line he said. But here's what he said. He said, "You thought you were safe, Daniels? Well, the word is out because you're very unsafe. All the jokes and games he's brought on himself." And here's my favorite line of this entire promo. This was a straight shot at Vince McMahon. He's not the first out-of-touch old man to not believe in him. Bam! I'm like, yeah, tell him, Brody! But he'll be the last. He formally introduces himself as Brody Lee. The lights go out, comes back on. Daniels, Scorpio Sky are in the ring, and with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, there stood Brody Lee. Big boot to the face, and they beat down on the rest of SCU with the discus lariat. It was awesome. Brody Lee, formerly Luke Harper, has officially arrived in AEW, and he's the Exalted One. I love it. It fits like the mystique. They could have dug in his character more when he was in WWE for sure as Luke Harper. I mean, they the two biggest pushes of Luke Harper's time in WWE, besides when he was with the Wyatt family, when Bray Wyatt actually wasn't dangling on a thin string, was when he was briefly Intercontinental Champion at the end of 2014. That ladder match he had with Dolph Ziggler, awesome. And then in 2017, when he almost, remember this, in 2017, despite the fact he wasn't really given that many, singles pushes, Luke Harper in 2017 almost got into the WWE title match at WrestleMania. This guy has always been super underrated, underappreciated, has a lot more offer on the table. He had much more singles potential to offer than Eric Rowan. And look, Eric Rowan just recently got his singles career smashed again by a steel step onto his stupid robotic spider. This fits him great. He has that, mystique, that creepiness that he could easily, roll off of him. He has the appearance to pull off this, and the guy can freaking talk on the microphone. Like, WWE, why did you overlook on this guy for the longest time? And this right here, loved it. Got me excited. I mean, we've seen, like Chris Jericho, or Jon Moxley, or, trying to think other names who are in AEW right now, or Shawn Spears, other people who left WWE to go to AEW. We've seen them have success. We know they can be good. Luke Harper, they never actually got him over that hump. I felt yes, they gave him the tag titles when they were the Bludgeon Brothers, but once they get the tag titles, they felt they were still running squash matches. Honestly, I hate to say this, but the Bludgeon Brothers felt like what the Viking Raiders felt like when they were tag team champions on the main roster. Just having squash matches, had no characters in them whatsoever. That's what it felt like. This is awesome. I love it. And I'm very excited to see what Brody Lee does as the Exalted One of the Dark Order. It's not Matt Hardy, but Brody Lee, I actually like better. I love it. I'm excited. And to me, one of my favorite parts of this show for sure. Because again, this show is freaking awesome. I can't stop saying that. And I will say it to the rest of the stream. I promise you guys. Anyways. Oh, another awesome thing. So, we had this interview with Lance Archer and Jake the Snake Roberts, who Lance Archer is Jake the Snake Roberts' client he was talking about whenever he appeared in AEW and confronted Cody Rhodes. He tells Cody that they laid the gauntlet at his feet and gave him respect, but what they get in return? Nothing. He got a record. They don't play games. They told him what they want, and it's one thing to keep away and try it out once out of harm's way, and he understands that. But ignoring them is like spitting on his face, and he will not have that. He listened to him and his friends complain like girls worried about prom, and if he doesn't like it, he can come try and shut him up. It's time for Cody to stand up and meet the man They came here for a specific reason, and it wasn't personal, but it has become personal. He had his chance to meet them straight on, and they will get his attention. And then we had this really nice video package of Lance Archer in some kind of like psycho backyard, destroying challenger after challenger in some backyard ring. Like basically, confirm, bringing on a fight basically to anyone in there, and it was awesome. It was a great way to just like kind of set the stone and to set how brutal Lance Archer is coming into the AEW. Gotta say, I love that segment. A great way to catch my attention for sure for somebody. So that was awesome. And then next week we're gonna be getting commentary hypes up because we're getting ready for the main event. We're gonna have Warlord taking on Luchasaurus in a lumberjack match, and we also are going to be getting Lucha Bros versus Best Friends in a street fight in the parking lot next week as well, which sounds awesome. And we have our main event. It was a 6-man tag match. Inner Circle's Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz taking on the Elites, Hangman Adam Page, Cody Rhodes, and Matt Jackson. This is a fun match. Gotta say it was pretty good. Jericho was on commentary the whole time. Of course, just saying a whole bunch of trash and whatnot, and just being Jericho as well, as being awesome. So the Inner Circle would eventually win by pinfall with a victory roll from Santana on Matt Jackson, and gaining an advantage heading into Blood and Guts. So afterwards, Jericho gets on the mic, and he says that he bans the fans from all future AEW events until he says so. After what they did to Nick Jackson, the Inner Circle has outnumbered the Elite. So they start counting out how many they have. So eventually it gets to 1, and they're all giving everybody the middle finger. They don't stand a chance at Blood and Guts. Jake Hager starts doing push-ups, and Chris tells Sammy Guevara to get on his back so he can do another one. And of course Sammy does so, and he starts hyping up how sexy he thinks he is. But then, here comes a drone. A drone came flying in the arena and lands, as it's landing in the middle of the ring with all the Elite. No pun intended. Matt Jackson says, "There's one thing though you're wrong about, Chris. The Elite isn't outnumbered. It's not just the 4 of them. Because he made a phone call to a friend who owes him a favor." They pan out to a higher portion in the arena, and standing in the middle of the arena on the higher level at the ledge was none other than wonderful, broken Matt Hardy. In his robe, the hair, the attire, everything. He is not the Exalted One. Matt Hardy has officially arrived in AEW. He's wearing the robe and he's gurning. His broken brilliance has returned. He was doing the delete fingers, and Chris Jericho was left in shock. That's how we went off the air, with a freaking, cliffhanger of, the Elite has a full 5 group because we don't have Nick Jackson. We have Matt Hardy in his place. Awesome, and a great way to give Matt Hardy a great fresh start at AEW. Yes, Matt Hardy's 42, 43 years old. It's early to mid 40s at this point. Yes, his days in the ring may be limited, but again, he chose not to re-sign with WWE. His brother Jeff did, but Matt chose to re-sign because he felt that him and the WWE, despite the fact that he has a lot of respect for them, their business, he said he felt just right now they did see eye to eye creatively, but he still felt he could contribute to the wrestling business and go to AEW, not as the Exalted One, but just as broken Matt Hardy in general, is awesome. I love it. I cannot wait. When they briefly had him as Woken Matt Hardy in WWE, they didn't really give him full control over it, because once again, Vince McMahon has to have control over everything in the WWE. But now that they have creative freedom over themselves in AEW, I can't wait to see this. I'm excited. This show literally just lit that fire back at me again. I've been just bummed. I've been not excited about anything over the past few days, ever since this whole coronavirus stuff started taking over more and such, this show to me was awesome. This show just lit that fire back in me and has me excited for next week for Dynamite. Cannot wait to see what happens with Lance Archer. Can't wait to see that parking lot street brawl with Best Friends and the Lucha Bros. I can't wait to see what Brody Lee does next as the Exalted One, what Matt Hardy does, the Inner Circle, Moxley. So much I'm excited about. And we got it. So guys, that's going to do it for my live review of Dynamite. Giving it an A. The show earned itself an A this week. What are your thoughts on Dynamite for this week, guys? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And make sure, as always, to slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBody3. I'll be back up here again soon to start doing the catching up of my pay-per-view reviews that I have not been able to do with being gone from YouTube for 7 months. So we will start. I thought it was going to be SummerSlam. I completely forgot. We also have to talk about first NXT TakeOver Toronto 2. So that one will be coming shortly, guys, as we will talk about NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 and SummerSlam. We'll at least do those two today. If I want to do more, maybe I'll do more because I have so much freaking time on my hands right now. So we'll just wait and see. So guys, once again, this is the Club of 1993. And if you did not watch this episode of Dynamite, please be sure to check it out. If you're losing that passion as a wrestling fan, definitely turn this show on. It's going to hype you up so much more. I cannot wait, guys. I'm checking it out. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys soon for my NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 live review. So until then, guys, I will see you all then. Peace out, everybody.